I want to first of all thank you for coming. I really appreciate you taking time out to come. Not a bad venue to hear a presentation, but still appreciate that you have a lot of things to get your attention. My name is Meredith Fines. I'm the Director of Consulting Services at ARG, for those of you who don't know me. And I just appreciate you coming. I think we've got a great topic tonight, and we have a really good speaker to bring that topic to us. Just give you some stats about ARG. The funny thing is, some of you've known us for a while, and I was talking to Bruce a little while ago. I think Bruce's company, CMBI, has the record for being ARG's oldest customer, and we were just talking about when he got there in 1992, they were already an ARG customer. So as you can imagine, we were a very different company back then than we are now, just as your companies have evolved as well. No pun intended. But some stats for those of you who don't know much about ARG. You may not know that we support the technology operations for over 2,000 companies here in the DC metro area. And that's about, in the space that we operate, the size of the companies, that's about 11% of the businesses here. So we feel like we've got our fingers on the pulse of what technology companies, what technology needs for companies are. We run over 200 meetings a month. We're coming out to see you and a lot of others to make sure we do understand what your needs are, and we want to hear what we can bring to you. And that has really sparked our interest in providing this education series. So we also have the benefit of a lot of technology providers that come into our office and are part of our portfolio. In fact, at any given time, we're probably having 6 to 8 of them in our office talking to us about their technology and how they can bring solutions to our clients. So this just seemed like a perfect thing to bring together. And I'm very excited to introduce one of those technology providers that we think has a really good message to tell you today. Ryan Berg, who is the VP of Cloud Computing Sales for EvolveIP, is going to come up here in just a moment. And he was joking that, good news, he's only got 74 slides, so we should be done before the game. Just kidding. We're talking about 10 to 15 minutes of your time. And I encourage you, I'm sure, to ask questions if they come up. But what we want to do is end, so then you can kind of talk amongst yourselves and obviously with the EvolveIP folks. And we want to hear how maybe they and ARG can help your business go to the next level. So with
and
that,
don't forget our silent partner, Lionel Rich.
That's right. I do feel like that should be part of it. And if Ryan could sing, yes. No, just
No
joking.
go.
No go. But with that,
Technology, yeah.
I want to turn it over to Ryan Berg and let you take it away.
Thank you. So Ryan Berg, and then we also have J.Y. Halpin and Ryan Corcoran here, who will be around to answer any questions that you have. Promise to keep this short and sweet, more or less meant to just give you a few ideas of things that we've done with our clients, and then we can obviously use the time tonight to discuss those in further detail. So EvolveIP's claim to fame is that we can essentially move a customer's infrastructure completely to the cloud. So whether that's data for virtual desktops, virtual servers, or disaster recovery, but also voice communications. So your voice over IP phone systems, as well as unified communications, and then contact center as well. So essentially being able to offer an all-inclusive, as we call it, the one cloud platform. But at the same time, we're also able to then start with single infrastructure projects and move customers gradually to the cloud as needs arise and as we grow and mature. So obviously the first thing that typically comes up from customers is jack of all, master of none. So here, Gartner, hopefully most of you are familiar with, they're essentially the consumer reports of IT. Essentially, we are ranked by Gartner in every product category that we offer. So whether it's voice or data services, we essentially can offer single siloed solutions that are on par, if not better, than our competitors out there in the market today. Just a few numbers here, get you familiar with EvolveIP. Essentially been in cloud services since 2007. For those of you who remember when Microsoft to the Cloud started coming out with their commercials, it was about 2009. So until then, you kind of really had to explain what the cloud was. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of kind of learning that went along in the early stages, but now this has obviously become not just a fad, but something that all clients are essentially moving their infrastructure over the years, and we've become very successful at that. 98% customer retention rate. To give you an idea of industry average, the industry average is about 9 to 14% customer churn annually, and we're down at 2%. So we could keep our customers very happy. As you guys know, it's about 6 to 7 times harder to sell a new client than it is to sell an existing client more services. We take that to heart. We want to make sure that we do everything possible to keep our customers happy so they buy more services from us. And that in turn drives more value for them because it's less people to deal with for their infrastructure needs. This is essentially 42%. That's about the current revenue that we receive from existing customers buying more different products from us. So not just growing in employee size, but actually acquiring or starting new projects with us for new technology. And obviously that leads to some pretty great compound annual growth figures. I've been on the Inc. 5000 now, I believe it's 3, maybe 4 years now, 3 years. So growing at an incredible rate as well. So people are enjoying the fact that they can consolidate more things with us. So we want to give you just 2 quick case studies. Really, a lot of times when we meet with clients, say, well, give us an idea of how this looks in the end game. So this is a cloud computing customer, credit union down in Florida. They came to us essentially, they had aging infrastructure. They were understaffed, looking at having to hire additional headcount and essentially having to deal with, because they're a regional bank, about 17 locations in and around Orlando. During hurricane season or just inclement weather overall, they'd have pretty much rolling outages at all their branches where they wouldn't be able to provide services. So we were able to actually come in and save them from having to essentially spend a few $1,000,000 worth of infrastructure. We were able to consolidate what was at the time 7 vendors down to 1, further driving more value. And then, as you see here, hurricane tested. So that they actually went through Matthew last year and had several branches that would lose power, never without the ability to continue transacting business. So that just gives you an idea of how cloud services can enable your locations to become somewhat independent in that regard. So I'm going to turn it over to JY to take us through the other side of the house, which is our voice communications platform.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about ROI. This use case was an example of not only cost savings, but then efficiency savings on the other side as well. So you had a TCO discussion going on the front end, which resulted in really business savings going forward for the business. This was a large medical company that has about 500 plus locations and 12,000 employees throughout the country. Their biggest need was saving on IT costs, right? And it's coming down from the C-level in the boardroom. We have to reduce our bill by X% to make this worth our while going forward. We have to be able to scale. So that was kind of the top line marching order coming down. So we took a look at their infrastructure, and they had a lot of key sets and aging infrastructure throughout multiple locations throughout the country. And it was a large call center with a lot of distributed little call centers working on advanced hunt groups, right? So calls come in, hunts of 10 people, someone picks it up. They didn't have a lot of reporting, didn't have a lot of insight into the business, didn't really understand what was going on, and really had trouble managing those things centrally. So taking all those things into consideration, we were able to deploy a solution that not only replaced all the phone systems, but gave them centralized management of the phone systems, standardized processes across all their locations, 500 plus locations throughout the country. So they had the same call flows coming in, same DR policies coming in. So they set up buddy branches where, as Ryan said, a hurricane comes in, blows out an office. What do I do now with the callers that are coming in? So I send them to an alternate office. I don't miss a beat from a customer service perspective. I still get all the reporting and efficiency there. And the best of all, we were able to save them roughly, I think it was $2 million annually or $10 million over 5 years from top level costs. So that resulted in not only the TCO savings that you get at the high level, but the go forward business process and efficiency. They didn't have to spend all that money going out on site to support the disparate systems, making sure that legacy key sets were functioning, manage all the different carriers that they had in their footprint, kind of centralized control and afforded them the opportunity to really be efficient upstream going forward. So that's the second use case there. There was a lot of different ROI discussions there. Everything we did from a tech perspective was deployed from the cloud. So they had things like call recording, a screen cap, and all these crazy things from a call center perspective that their IT didn't have to go spend not a dollar in CapEx to deploy locally to their end users to be able to do. So that's some of the efficiency we're able to achieve for them over the course of 3 to 4 years.
Cool. So just a couple of examples. We'll be around all night. So if you have questions or how that might relate to your business, we're more than happy to talk through those ideas and go from there. So thanks for coming and appreciate your time. Enjoy the game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yep.